Hey everyone, I'm a network security engineer based out of Sydney, Australia. I just recently passed my RHCSA and I want to give you a fast and easy demo on how I set up my Linux practice lab on a Windows PC using VMware Workstation Pro. The setup is perfect if you're prepping for the certification, anything like RHCSA, RHCE, or you just want a safe environment to practice to learn Linux. So in this video, I'll quickly go over how you can download a VMware Workstation Pro, create a VM, how you install Linux, how you can set up the networking on it, and take snapshots to keep your lab safe. So yeah, let's get into it. So I'll have the links in the description to the downloads. So the first one, you want to go into Broadcom and you'll want to create a Broadcom account. It's completely free. So once you've done that and you've registered, you can go to this. You can go to the link in the description. You can go to download now. So once you're in the portal, you can see the dash on the side here. You want to click My Downloads, and then there's a free downloads pop-up, and you can click on here. So the software we're looking for is VMware Workstation Pro, which is just at the bottom here. So we click on that. Now we'll go for the most recent Windows distribution, so 25.2. So you can click on the release. Now, if you're doing this for the first time, there will likely be a pop-up box where you have to click on the terms and conditions, and then you accept the terms and conditions, you check off the box, and then you should be able to press the HTTPS download link to the side, and then you can see start downloading it. So while that's downloading, what we'll do is we will go over to the Red Hat. So you'll need a Red Hat ISO image. Now for my certification, I did RHCSA version 9. Up to version 10, it's up to you, whichever you want to do, but for the purpose of this video, I will set up 9.6. So yeah, again, link will be down in the description. So you'll have to set up a Red Hat account as well. That's also completely free. You don't have to be associated with any company or anything. You can just make your own account. And then we'll go over here and we will go Linux 9.6 for x86. So that's for Windows or for Intel-based CPUs. So you download the ISO. And then that should automatically start. If you're doing this again for the first time and you haven't set up an account or anything, you'll have to set up your account, and then it might get you to fill in some more details, such as your address and so on before it then starts the automatic download. So I've already got this downloaded, but we can just let that download in the background. So what we want to now do is you'll have to go through the VMware Workstation Pro setup wizard, download everything, and then yeah, once you're ready, you can open up the application, and this is the desktop screen or the home screen you'll be greeted with. So what we'll do is we'll go create a new virtual machine. We'll just do the standard install. Now you'll have to browse to find your ISO file. Here it's already got mine, 9.6 DVD ISO. So you want to select your ISO file. So browse for the correct file that you've just downloaded. You go to next. You can just fill in your details. Just make the password simple for purpose of the video. There we go, no capitals. So we can just name our image. So I'll just call it RHEL 9. We go next. Now, for my own personal labs, I was just setting up 10 gigabyte VMs because I had, I think, over 10 of them set up at one point for various reasons. I was practicing a number of different things. So the minimum you can go is 10 gigabytes. So for the purpose of this, I'll just set up 10 gigabytes. I recommend you do this a number of times and get really comfortable setting up VMs from brand new, because that is essentially what RHCSA is about. So for the purpose of this, I also like to select store virtual disk as a single file. By default, it'll be stored as multiple files. I just think single file is a bit easier to manage if you've got multiple. So you can go to next. Now you can customize your hardware. So depending on how much compute power you've got, I just leave it standard with 2 gigs of memory set up. They recommend 2 gigs. You know, Red Hat Linux is pretty lightweight. Like it's really solid distribution. A lot of companies use it in sort of the network security space. So it's very, very memory efficient. And as you can see, yeah, you only need 10 gigabytes to set up a whole operating system. You can select your number of CPU cores as well. So we'll just go with 2 CPU cores. You can add extra disks, but I'll go over that later on in another video, kind of familiarizing yourself with the Red Hat desktop setup. For network adapter, I'll just leave it standard as NAT. So you'll share the host's IP address. You can also use bridged if you want, but that's up to you. And then everything else you can just leave default. So we'll go finish. So you'll need to click on the screen, and then you can use the arrow keys and go up one and then hit enter. So install. You might need to wait a minute or two while this boots up. Okay, so this is the Red Hat setup screen. So I'll just leave it as English. I'm based in Australia. So continue. Now there's a couple of things you need to configure here. So system, you can just click on it. As you can see, we've selected 10 gigabytes. I leave everything else automatic. Again, you might use several VMs, so you don't need to go too far into how you want to configure it unless you want to have this as your main VM. So all you have to do is press done. So it'll save your storage config. Yeah, just leave it as it is. So root password. So you'll have to create a root password. And then I will allow root SSH login. That's up to you if you want to do that. For security purposes, often that's disabled. Again, this is a lab environment, so we can set this up to be, you know, we don't have to worry too much about security right now. So yeah, so you have to click done twice because it's a very simple password that's being used. And then we can go begin installation. Okay, that might have taken a few minutes to install. So now that the installation is complete, we'll just reboot system. Okay, now we have booted into the desktop environment for Red Hat. So we can go to Start Setup. I turn usually my location services off. I don't connect any accounts, so you can if you like. I skip that. So we'll just select a username and then a password as well. So we're done. So you can start using Red Hat. So you can take the tour if you like. I'm going to skip that for now. So what you're going to want to do now is go ahead and register your system. Now the reason why we need to register our system is, for example, if I jump into the root account, so now I'm in the root account, what you're going to need to be able to do in your RHCSA exam is be able to install extra services from the Red Hat repository. So for example, if I want to go yum install httpd, because I'm not registered, it won't be able to connect to the Red Hat repo servers. I will also in a future video go over how to set up your own local repo. That is an exam question that's very common, and you will pretty much be guaranteed to get that question in your exam. But for now, what we're going to do is register our system. So you can either click here, or if you already accidentally clicked it off, you can go to your activities, show applications, into settings, and then you scroll to the bottom, and on the About tab at the bottom of this, you can register your system. So you'll need to use the Red Hat login that you created earlier to download the Red Hat ISO image. So we'll go ahead and log in. I'll just take a minute to register. And now it'll show you the pop-up, registration successful. So you should be able to see it says registered system. So now I can close the settings. And if we try and install httpd again, it should be able to connect to the Red Hat servers. So there you go. You can see it's downloaded. How to snapshot. So snapshot's very important if you're going to be making a lot of changes on a VM. For example, even network changes, if you're worried about breaking something. What you can do, VMware Workstation Pro, it has a built-in feature. So it has a snapshot manager by default. So what you can do is at the top here, manage snapshots for this virtual machine. And it'll give you a timeline and tell you where you actually are. So what you can do is you can take a snapshot whenever you like. So we'll just go call it, snapshot 1, that's fine. And you might want to say, before making network changes. And then you can take a snapshot. So you can see we are currently in the present. The snapshot was taken in the past. And if you want to revert back to a snapshot, you can click on the snapshot and then press go to. So this is great if you want to practice the same sort of question over and over again. You can revert back to your original snapshot each time. Because again, to reiterate, RHCSA is all about setting up a Red Hat environment or virtual machine from scratch. So yeah, if there are any questions, please ask them in the comments. If anything was unclear, I'll try and clarify that. And in the next video, I will be going over familiarizing yourself with the desktop environment. Thanks for watching.